everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the 4-H Clover Dispatch Flyer. I'm Andrea Ripley-Schleiss. I'm the 4-H program educator for Trempealeau and Jackson County, and I'm so excited to have you guys back here with me today. So, we are referencing this month's newsletter. It's the March 2024. So some of the things that have been happening within the last month that I want to give you guys an update on. 4-H volunteer training updates. We've had quite a few training updates since January, and I also have had some people question, like, okay, am I being a 4-H volunteer or not? So on this first page of our dispatch flyer, I made this lovely little flow chart for us to think about whether or not we're acting in a volunteer role and if we need to get trained. So the reason we want everybody who's working either with youth one-on-one or handling a club checkbook or any other position where they oversee something, we want them to get trained so that we know that they're either acting well within their role, but also so that if something happens, they're covered under the university's liability insurance. And that's pretty important, especially when you're doing something that might be high risk, like being a horse project leader or an archery leader or something like that. So we want to make sure that you guys are getting trained properly. And the big update for what's happening with our trainings is a lot of them are moving online. So you'll be able to have these trainings whenever you're available, mainly at night when you're, after you put your kids down for bed and you have those 30 minutes of alone time for a little bit, you can do that instead of having to find a babysitter and figure out, okay, well, when's Andrea having this training? Can I make this work? I will always work with your schedule. So if you're still looking for me to train you one-on-one and in person, I can still do that. But when you have it available to you on the World Wide Web, it makes it a little bit easier. So the one big training update would be, of course, VIP is now going to be Grow Green. I know that I've had that in the newsletter a couple times, but just to reiterate, this one is fully online. It'll kind of go over what it replaces VIP completely, which is the one that I taught in person. So this one will talk a lot about what you're going to be doing as a 4-H volunteer, how you can better support your youth in your club, but then also kind of gives you a little bit of a test or tease of what your club leader duties will be, depending on which one you're going to do. It's about 30 to 45 minutes, and it is online, but also it can be done by paper or I can teach it. Once again, let me know if that's something that you're interested in, you want to do. And you only have to take this one once. So just like VIP, how as long as you are trained once, you don't have to take it again unless you take a 4-year hiatus from enrolling in 4-H online. So if you ever want to keep up your volunteer trainings, but you're not quite sure you want to continue being a volunteer, but you want to come back to it later, make sure you keep re-enrolling, or else once you take that lapse of 4 years of not re-enrolling, then you lose all that training that you took. Yes, you may have taken it recently, but you have to take it again. And it can get a little frustrating on your end. So make sure that you just keep re-enrolling in 4-H online every October when it opens up again. Another thing, camp. Camp registration is open. So I want to make sure that you guys are getting ready. It's, of course, June 5th through the 7th at YMCA Camp Pepin. And we're really excited to have some campers enroll. I already looked today, and we have at least 9 people enrolled already. None from Trempealeau and Jackson County, but I'm hoping that you guys will join us because, like I said before, camp is like my favorite part of the year. And we're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff. This camp facility that we go to, it has a high ropes course. It's right on the river for Lake Pepin. So there's a lot of paddleboarding opportunities, kayaking, swimming, canoeing, and it's a really nice camp facility, and you'll get to meet a lot of really great campers and meet some people that you might not normally have met. So make sure you enroll and you take some time to do that, because camp is going to be here way quicker than we think it will be. Next, we have Clover College / Foods Review. I didn't really have anything about this in the newsletter because I'm still working on it and getting everything squared away. But Clover College will be on April 27th this year at Blair Taylor from 9 until 2. So I'm working on getting the final bits and pieces put together for the registration for that. And then we're going to tack on Foods Review in the afternoon. So after lunch, after everyone's eaten and we've kind of gotten together, then Foods Review will start. And so you'll be able to sign up for that then, or not then, but you'll be able to sign up for it with your Clover College enrollment. So I have to get all of that together, but I'm hoping to have the registrations distributed to the schools along with through 4-H online or at least emailed to everybody. So be sure to be checking your emails. So I want to have both of those on the same day. And then of course YQCA, I know that I talked about this last time, but Arcadia has filled up quite a bit. I've reopened it a couple of times when people have asked, but I will not be reopening it again. I have 21 people signed up, and my limit right now is 25, and that will be the end limit. I don't like going higher than that because it becomes too big of a group, and I want to make sure that all the kids are learning and engaging and participating. So that will be the last time I reopen it. There's only a couple spots left, so if you're able to go on that day, please make sure to enroll. Make sure also that you take the pretest, because if you don't take the pretest, I can't give you your certificate. So I see a lot of people who have an incomplete pretest, and that needs to be done before I assign the certificates after the session. And of course for Blair, which is March 20th, there's only 3 spots that are full currently in that one. So if you're able to make that day, be sure to come to that one. I will have that one whether or not I have enough kids, because I have it, might as well do it. It'll just be a smaller group, and we'll get to do a little more one-on-one and work together. So the certificates will be due to the auction committee on July 1st. So be sure that you have everything done before then. If not, you'll have to contact Barb Geezy, who is the livestock auction committee secretary, and talk to her. But other than that, you should have those done, and they'll be sent in by July 1st. Last but not least, Parents and Leaders Board. So I'm sure some of you have seen me talk about it a little bit in the past, but the Parents and Leaders Board is actually a really critical part of our 4-H program. They are the fiscal agents, so a lot of times when we have programs like Clover College or the food stand, that's funded through the Parents and Leaders Board. So they are in charge of our large fundraisers like the Platt book sales and the food stand, and so they help to create the spreadsheet not the spreadsheet, but the schedule for the food stand, and then they help us man it. And the reason we all have to put in a shift is because that's how we get money to be able to do some of the great stuff we do, like our educational experiences where you get to go to like CWF and American Spirit and Space Camp and all of that. Without the funds that the Parents and Leaders Board provide us, we wouldn't be able to do some of the great things that we're able to do in the 4-H program. And so the reason I'm saying this is because we need some more people to be a part of that board. We have really, since I came back from maternity leave last year, the board has really dwindled. We've had some people on there that have been on the board since I started, which is far above their term limit. And I know that I've had people come and say, "Hey, Andrea, I put in a funding request and no one's gotten back to me and I'm really frustrated." Well, it's because we don't have anyone there to approve our funding requests. So we need to make sure that we're there and helping out. So this is my ask for anybody who is available. We need people to be on that board. It's not going to be a long commitment. We try to make sure our meetings are short, but we need to have a handful more people to make it work. So I'm actually going to be having a meeting on March 4th, but that'll be out after this video is posted. But after that, look in the newsletter to see when our next meetings are. I do try to post them pretty frequently, but also I try to make sure that they're out. I send out an email prior to. A lot of times there's virtual options, and I know not everyone likes the virtual options, but they have made it so that others are able to participate when they're not able to normally. So be sure to ask questions about this. I know that some people are probably going, well, why does it matter about the Parents and Leaders Board? I don't think that it affects me. Well, it directly affects your child's ability to participate in some of the things like 4-H camp, for example. Parents and Leaders Board does offer scholarships for 4-H camp. Our whole point of that board is to make sure that our kids are getting a lot out of the 4-H program and that they're able to participate. So by having people on the board and having people help us either coordinate what we're doing, sign checks, be present at our meetings, because the hard part is when it's a small group of people, we're not really creating what everybody in the board or everybody in the program wants to see. We need more people. And it doesn't hurt if you have differing opinions. That's the whole point of having the meetings. So if you have any other questions about that, please feel free to contact me. I would love to see you there, but also I'd love to answer some of your questions. Other than that, I think that's it for our March Clover Dispatch Flyer. Thank you for joining me.